Welcome to US-based news channel. Significant attacks of Ukrainian troops were seen on the southern and eastern fronts. Major offensive attempts of Ukrainian troops against Russian troops were recorded both in Zaporizhzhia Oblast and in the city of Soledar. Many Russian soldiers were defeated in Zaporizhzhia Oblast. In the city of Soledar, the Ukrainian artillery units defeated the Russian troops with an accurate shot. Hundreds of soldiers from the Russian army lost their lives in one day. Flames rising with a giant explosion in the Russian region were recorded. Russia experienced fearful moments with explosions in the city of Bryansk. It seems that Ukrainian troops formed a convoy of a large number of military armored vehicles in the Bakhmut area. Ukrainian army carried out extremely powerful attacks to defeat the Russian troops on the southern and eastern fronts. It is seen that the Russian army has lost hundreds of soldiers in many parts of Ukraine. Turmoil in the Russian army caused the Russian soldiers to suffer a major defeat on the southern front. It was noted that untrained Russian soldiers on the Zaporizhzhia front could not resist the Ukrainian soldiers. In the village of Kirilivka in the Zaporizhzhia Oblast, we witnessed a successful offensive of Ukrainian troops against Russian troops. After these attacks, Ukrainian troops attempted a new offensive against Russian troops, neutralizing large numbers of Russian soldiers. According to the information received, the sounds of clashes rose from the Zaporizhzhia Oblast, and it was revealed that dozens of Russian soldiers lost their lives in a short time after these clashes. Ukrainian troops quickly repelled the attacks of Russian troops in the Zaporizhzhia Oblast. Ukrainian troops then launched a massive offensive against the Russian troops, neutralizing about 30 Russian soldiers. At the same time, it is seen that the Ukrainian troops carried out successful defenses in the Zaporizhzhia Oblast and destroyed 3 Russian tanks. After the successful operation of the Ukrainian troops on the southern front, we see that they achieved a significant success on the eastern front as well. We have been witnessing for a long time that Ukrainian troops struggle to prevent Russian troops from seizing the Soledar region. And we see that the great struggles of the Ukrainian troops also achieved successful results. According to the information obtained, it was seen that the Russian troops attempted to attack the Ukrainian troops in the city of Soledar, and then hid in the industrial zone of the city of Soledar. But it didn't take long for the area where the Russian troops were hiding to appear. Ukrainian border guards seem to have informed the Ukrainian artillery as soon as they spotted the hiding positions of the Russian troops. It is known that the hiding place of the Russian troops was detected by the Ukrainian border guards using unmanned aerial vehicles. Ukrainian artillery units immediately launched an attack on the position of the Russian troops and neutralized the Russian troops. Thus, the uninterrupted activities of the Russian troops in the city of Soledar seem to have been stopped for a long time. We see that the reason for the Russian soldiers hiding in the region is that they are quite afraid of the Ukrainian soldiers. It is known that the successful and destructive attacks of the Ukrainian troops were enough to strike fear into the Russian troops. While the Ukrainian troops continue successfully in many regions, we witness the sound of explosions echoing in some cities of Russia. We see that Russia organized an attack against the city of Bryansk. Offensive against the region was a very large-scale operation, and we witnessed explosions heard throughout the region. While Russia was very concerned about the explosions in the region, it turned out that the attack on the city of Bryansk was actually carried out in the Donetsk region of the city of Bryansk. It is seen that the operations against the region were carried out by firing missiles. After the explosions in the city, Russian air defense systems had to be activated. However, according to the information received, the Russian air defense did not step in. It seems that the strength of Russian air defense systems has been significantly weakened, and Russia is not in a position to successfully defend against future attacks on its territory. Attacks on Bryansk Oblast cause a lot of panic in Russia, because it is seen that Bryansk Oblast is an industrial city and is developing rapidly. Therefore, if the region is damaged in an attack to this region, it is likely that industrial production in the region will cease. Considering that Russia has a serious economic income from this region, an operation towards the region will be an end that is expected to affect the Russian economy deeply. In line with the information obtained after the attacks recorded on Russian soil, the loss of soldiers belonging to the Russian army today greatly increased the tension between Russia and Ukraine. While Ukrainian troops attacked in many areas, hundreds of Russian soldiers could not resist the Ukrainian troops. We see that about 700 soldiers are lost from the Russian army every day, and this situation rapidly decreases Russia's success rate on the fronts. According to the information received, 760 Russian soldiers of the Russian army were neutralized as a result of the operations carried out by the Ukrainian troops in the regions. I can say that the Russian army would be adversely affected by such a huge loss, because it was recently announced that Putin will establish a new army of 1.5 million people. Russia is launching a continuous wave of mobilization due to the constant loss of soldiers, and this reflects very negatively on the authority of the Russian army. Russian soldiers are now aware that they will be constantly defeated during the war due to the constant wave of mobilization. That's why the motivation of the Russian soldiers was extremely low. At the same time, the failures of the Russian soldiers are expected to increase in the coming days, as the Russian soldiers included in the army are known to be untrained. For this reason, Russia's continuous loss of soldiers and the wave of forced mobilization are actually a sign that Russia cannot win in this war. While the Ukrainian troops defeated the Russian soldiers, it is seen that they continue their activities in the eastern region. As it is known, the Ukrainian troops carried out a successful attack in the Soledar region and defeated the Russian troops. It seems that after the success of the Ukrainian troops in the Soledar area, they want to continue their success in the Bakhmut Oblast. That's why Ukrainian soldiers seem to have established strong defensive lines in Bakhmut Oblast. It is seen that they deployed 9 of the Turkish-made Kirpi armored vehicles actively used by the Ukrainian soldiers to the Bakhmut Oblast. It is thought that the Ukrainian unit will carry out an important operation in Bakhmut Oblast with 10 Ukrainian soldiers in each armored vehicle. Thanks to these Kirpi armored vehicles, it is known that Ukrainian troops have carried out many successful operations before. Considering that these Kirpi armored vehicles are quite robust and 9 of them are located in the Bakhmut region, it is only a matter of time before the Ukrainian troops defeat the Russian troops in the Bakhmut Oblast in a powerful operation. It is thought that Ukrainian troops will soon launch a major offensive in Bakhmut Oblast. It is impatiently expected that the Ukrainian troops defeat the Russian troops in the Bakhmut area. In addition, we have no doubt that the Ukrainian troops will organize an operation and will be successful as a result of this operation. Because, as can be seen, we witnessed that the Russian soldiers suffered heavy defeats thanks to the successful attacks carried out by the Ukrainian soldiers in many parts of the southern and eastern fronts. For this reason, it is certain that the Russian soldiers will be defeated as a result of all the attacks of the Ukrainian troops. Thanks to the defense systems it has, it is seen that the Ukrainian troops have started to secure every inch of their territory step by step. I think that in the near future Ukrainian troops will carry out a major operation that will end this war and drive Russian soldiers out of Ukrainian territory forever. Therefore, we know that Russia is worried about attacks from Ukraine, because we know that an attack from Ukraine will easily defeat Russia. We will continue to keep you informed of future developments. We'll see what happens in the next few days. We have reached the end of another video. You can support us by liking the video. You can easily follow new videos by subscribing. I wish you all a war-free day. See you.